Let me repeat that. Hi, guys. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Uma. I am the CEO of the Lotus and the Light Metaphysical Center, located in Northern Virginia. And I like to come on here every Tuesday with a little topic for your development. So if you see me YouTube looking to my left or my right, it's because I am triple streaming at this very moment. I am streaming right now to YouTube, Facebook, Meet Me, and TikTok. So if anybody's dropping comments for me to read or, questions concerning the talk, please give it a second. I will get to everybody's messages in a minute, because I have like three different screens to look at. All right. So today's topic is unlocking my purpose, 3 ways to turn my vision into action. You've discovered your purpose. Now what? Knowing your life's purpose may just be the beginning, but the next step is to create a clear, actionable plan to bring it to life. In today's episode of Tuesday Talks, I will guide you through the process of turning your purpose into a well-defined strategy and teach you how to align your goals with your deeper sense of purpose so that you can move forward with clarity and intention. But before I like to start, this is an interactive show. So for all of you watching, whether you're watching on Meet Me, Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok, do you know what your purpose is? That's going to be my first question to those of you that are watching right now. Before we jump into getting into our topic today, I'm going to go ahead and define purpose. All right. Purpose is the reason or underlying motivation behind why you do what you do. It is a deeply personal guiding principle that gives meaning and direction to your life, your actions, and your decisions. So when you think about your life, right, and you think about all the things that you want to create for yourself, what's driving you? What is your motivation for doing so? Purpose often stems from your values, passions, beliefs, and it helps clarify what truly matters to you. So, just looking at my life, for those of you that know me, you can tell that community is a very, very, very important thing to me. I grew up in a Caribbean household. Community in the Caribbean is huge. So, what I do for work is no matter where I go, whether I'm offline, I'm at my center, the Lotus and the Light, or I'm online here with you guys, I try to create community wherever I go. That's important to me. Another thing that's important to me is spirituality. That's why I became a spiritual teacher, a spiritual mentor, because my spiritual practices is what brought me through, so many of my hard times. And it brought me from a dark place where I was always constantly negative, always constantly being at the mercy of my thoughts, my emotions, to a place now where I have strong, good emotional control and also self-awareness that allows me to have inner peace and joy. You're welcome, Swan's Arms. They said, thank you so much for explaining this. You're very, very welcome. So you got to figure out what your purpose is. You can do that by yourself. You can do that with a healer like me. I do soul plan readings for people where we kind of look at their birth details to figure out like why people are born, why they incarnated, and what they're here to do. So there's many different ways that you can find out what your purpose is. But once you find out your purpose, your next step is to put it into play. Your purpose is your why behind your goals. Your purpose gives you a sense of fulfillment and drive, especially when faced with obstacles and challenges. A strong sense of purpose fuels motivation and resilience, especially during times of duress. So, finding your purpose may be the first step, but creating momentum with action steps is the second part. So today we're going to discuss some potential tools and techniques that you can take to follow through. All right. Welcome in, guys. This is Tuesday Talks with Uma. I'm going to be here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For anybody who enjoys these talks and you want to put it on your calendar, it's going to be Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Tuesday Talks show. So, number one, in moving your vision into action, your purpose into a plan, you know, number one is purpose to goal planning. You're welcome, Too Much Love. You have to devise a step by step method for connecting your life purpose to tangible, actionable goals. I find that prioritizing goals is a big help for this. So I'm a life coach. I call myself a soul alignment coach because even though I'm a certified life coach, when I coach my clients, I'm always remember what's my purpose? Spirituality, right? So I'm always going to have a spiritual twist on anything that I do. So even though I'm life coaching my clients, it's with a spiritual twist, right? It's all about, yes, let's get your life in order here and now, but how does it pertain to your higher goal, your higher objective? So when I'm working with my clients, one of the tools that I like to use is the Eisenhower matrix. Have you guys ever heard of the Eisenhower matrix? It's a tool that we use for task management. So it helps you to organize and prioritize your tasks by urgency and importance. So let's say you can't work with a life coach, right? And you just got to do this on your own. You would draw a box, draw a square, and then line down the middle, line across. So now you have four little squares. You guys following me? Right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to place all the things that you have to do in each of the four boxes. So the first box is things that you have to do like right now. Pay a bill, or let's say your lights get cut off, or buy groceries, or you're going to starve, right? It's things that you have to do, urgent and important. That's the first box. Then the second box is things that you have a little bit of time on. Maybe this bill is not due till November, so you don't have to pay it right away. You could put that in the second box. Cleaning the house, nothing urgent about that, but something definitely to do. You could put it into the second box, right? The third box is tasks that you'll delegate. Okay, gardening. I don't have to garden. My son loves to garden, actually. So we have weeds in the front yard. I could put that in a third box. This is something that my son can do. And then the fourth box are tasks that you can delete, right? Things that we feel like we need to do, we have to do, and it serves no purpose. Like for instance, a great idea of that is like, I want to clean the house from head to toe, right? From top to bottom. But then we're now in holiday season. So maybe you're going to be putting out, the Halloween decorations or Thanksgiving decorations or Christmas decorations. So if you really want to do a deep clean of the house, you may want to wait until after the holidays, right? So that way you can put up all the decorations, take the decorations down, and then just put it away. So for now, you can delete that task. You can figure that task out later. So I love the Eisenhower matrix when using that with my clients because sometimes my clients get overwhelmed, right? And when they're overwhelmed, they can't do anything. Have you guys ever felt that before where you're just like, there's so much to do that I'm just not going to do anything? That would be a good time to use the Eisenhower matrix. Another tool that you can use is called the Pareto principle. So the Pareto principle is also known as the 80-20 rule, and that basically says that a phenomenon that states that roughly 80% of outcomes come from 20% of causes. So you use this principle to help prioritize tasks and business efforts, right? So you can use these tools on your own, or like I said, you can work with a life coach to kind of get your stuff into order, because really and truly, when you have your purpose, you need to bring your purpose into alignment by having a plan. I just want to do a little shout out, and I know people are going to be like, Uma always talks about this, but I'm going to do a little shout out to those of you that like to do things on your own. You can do that. Absolutely. You can do things on your own. But when you work with a professional, right? it gets things done faster. So a lot of like 90%, I feel the reason why I'm successful today is because of my life coaches, my mentors, my teachers. They have really taken me above and beyond. So don't just kind of shut it out your head. Oh, it's expensive or oh, it's time consuming. If something is really, really, really important to you, whether it's I have a love related question or I need time management or I want to do better in my life financially, hire the appropriate experts. All right. Cut your time down. Just cut your time down. So I say that because I'm currently helping a client get her life back on track, right? Because she has these short term goals of finding a job, getting into a relationship, addressing her health concerns, and these issues are the most important to her right now. So we're doing things to get her back on track, but I'm also keeping my eye on her long-term goal because I know her soul plan. I've done her soul plan before. I've done a reading for her. So I'm also, when I'm giving her her homework to do, I'm also including things to meet her soul plan needs, right? So it's a matter of balancing your short-term and your long-term goals. But remember something, these two techniques I just gave you, they're very helpful and everything else. But when you're writing your goals down, you have to write them in a smart way. And SMART stands for something. If you're in the life coaching business, you know. A SMART goal is a specific type of goal setting framework that helps ensure that your goals are clear, attainable, and well defined. So, SMART, SMART, right, stands for something. So the S is specific. When you write a goal down, you have to make sure that your goal is specific, right? It should answer the questions of who, what, when, where, and why. So SMART. S is for specific. M, measurable. Your goal must be measurable. There must be a way for you to track your progress. So let's say one of your goals is to clean my house from top to bottom, right? You could make it specific. I want to clean my house by December 31st. Make it measurable, right? You could write down on a piece of paper all the rooms in your house: living room, basement, bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, right? And then A in the SMART goal is achievable. The goal has to be realistic and attainable given your resources. It's unrealistic to say I want to clean my house, my whole house by tomorrow, and you have like literally 17 hours left, or no, 7 hours left, and until it's midnight, 7 hours left. So unless you plan to like just forgo everything else, don't eat, don't sleep, right? It's not going to work out. So it has to be achievable. It has to be relevant, aligns with your broader life or business objectives, right? So if you're cleaning your house, maybe that you're going to have a party and you're inviting people over and you want your house to look nice. So that's why it's relevant. And time bound has a specific deadline or time frame. So when you write your goals down, make sure that you're writing your goals down as SMART goals. SMART. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. When you write goals as SMART goals, they help clarify your objectives. And because you're so specific about it, you have a greater likelihood of success. Okay? So learn how to, when you're writing your goals, to craft specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals that are aligned with your purpose or your work, or you can work with a coach to define your goals. Okay? So that's the first step, is that you want to, my first tip for bringing your vision into action is to have that purpose to goal planning. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. They say, oh, I dream a lot, but my dreams don't come true. A dream without action will just stay a dream. You have to have some form of, this is how we're going to get there, right? It can't just be left and say, oh, I want to be a millionaire one day. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing to become a millionaire one day? Are you working? Is the job that you're working at, right, getting you there? Are you investing? Right? How are you going to become that millionaire? You can't just say, oh, I want to be a millionaire one day. That's a dream. That's not a vision. That's a dream, right? So you have to have a purpose to goal planning. Number two, welcoming guys, we are talking about vision, converting your vision into action. So the first one was about planning. Number two is about vision mapping, right? Vision mapping is a creative exercise to visually map out your long term vision and break it down into achievable milestones. So, first, you have to craft a clear vision, right? It's important to have a long term vision, and your long term vision differs from short term goals. My long term vision is to create this Lotus brand that is known worldwide, and anybody who comes in contact with people or products or services associated with the Lotus brand, they will know that this is to elevate me in some type of way, whether it's products to elevate me or services to elevate me or community gatherings or meetups to elevate me. When I think of Lotus, I think of elevation in my life. That is my goal. That's my long term vision. My short term goals are going to play into different things. So, for instance, a short term goal could be me starting my Lotus shop, and whatever products I sell has that vision in mind, elevation. Another short-term goal could be planning community meetups, community gatherings. So when people get together, they can have a good time and, think about the Lotus brand in a good, positive way. So you have to have a difference in your short-term goals and your long-term goals, but you have to craft your clear vision. So there's two visualization techniques that I really, really like to use when I'm crafting my vision. Number one is the vision board. Have you guys heard about the vision board? The vision board is a great way to showcase what you're doing. Actually, I'm looking at my vision board right now because I tend to make my vision board every January. And I hold a workshop at my center to do vision board workshop. And we sit together, we have all these magazines, and we create our boards together. And it's so fun to do. And I love doing it because I'm with community. We're chatting and we're hanging out and we're putting together our boards. And by the end of the event, we all have our vision boards. So I have my vision board in my office. I'm looking at it right now because I spend like 70% of my day in the office, right? So every time I look up, I'm just looking at this amazing board. And every time, you see things on your board, every day it changes. Like right now I'm focusing on this beautiful living room that's very aesthetic and pleasing and modern. And, it's the idea of no clutter, no mess. And I aim for that, to have my house that way, right? So I'm like, okay, I feel like a house cleaning is coming on because I'm really drawn to it. So a vision board is a great way to craft your vision. And I like to do my vision boards every year. Another way that you can craft your vision is daydreaming, visualization techniques. And I tend to do this. I call it my vision quest, right? In the morning before I start my day, I tend to just sit and think about or meditate on how I want the day to go. What does it look like? How do I feel? What do I accomplish? Right? And you know what's funny? It's not even important to me whether I accomplish these things or not. What's important to me, though, is that I have the vision, right? Because that is the energy I'm portraying into the world. That is the energy I'm putting out there. So when you do that, you're actually goal setting, you're mapping the way to your success because you're seeing it. And once you can see it, and believe it, then it becomes a true reality. Okay. Now, number 3 is accountability structures. You have to have strategies in place to hold yourself accountable. A great way for accountability structures is to have a support network. You can get with a friend and say, "Hey, I really want to work on my business, but you know, I don't know if I can really keep up with it. So could you be my accountability partner and we check in every week? I can hold you accountable for your goals and you can hold me accountable for my goals." That's one way to do it. But to be honest, I know you guys are getting tired of me hearing this, but I rather work with a coach, a professional, because it's different. When you pay somebody to do something for you, right? They're going to be committed and they're going to be locked in. Your friends, as much as they love you, they're not committed. They have their own goals. They have their own life to tend to. So it's very easy for a friend to drop off. "Oh, I can't today. My kid is sick," or, "Oh, I can't today. I got work." So it's easy for them to drop off. But when you're paying somebody, they're not dropping off. They're showing up. Even when you don't want to show up, they're showing up. You know what I'm saying? So I like that because having accountability is so important for you and your brand and your purpose and putting it into alignment. You know what I'm saying? So get yourself an accountability coach, an accountability mentor, a partner, and they will help you achieve your goals. Another thing that I like to do for accountability is track my milestones. I actually have you can get this, it's like $20 at Staples. It's a 2024 calendar, but basically like, I just every day like I write down, the things that I got to do, and then at the end of it it has like, you know, some blank area on there for at the end of the week. And I like to write down certain things that I'm tracking. So like for instance, I would write down how much money I made for the week, because remember, I'm an entrepreneur and I have different sources of income, and I know what my goal is for the week. So I write down, like every time somebody pays me, I write it down. um, and then I tally it up at the end. Did I meet my goal, or did I pass it, or did I, not get it? Right. So when I do that, that tends to make me accountable for tracking how I am doing, right? I also like to track in terms of my personal development. How many times did I meditate this week? How many times did I get good sleep this week? So like I like using that little part of the calendar to keep track of all the ways that I'm monitoring my progress. Because if you don't monitor your progress, then really and truly, what's going to happen is that you're going to just go through your day by day, and think, "I'm not doing anything." And then that tends to set in. And the next thing you know, you're having like depression, right? You're like, "Oh, I'm just showing up and I'm working hard and nothing. I'm not celebrating any wins and stuff." Well, the way that you celebrate wins is that you keep a little track. And I'm a big, firm believer of celebrating small wins. So let's say, for instance, my goal is to make $200 a week. And if I make $205 for the week, I'm going to celebrate my little win. I did that. I had the vision. I kept my eye on the prize, and then I manifested it, and I worked hard and I got it done. Let's celebrate. Right. And you can celebrate however way you want to celebrate. So tracking milestones is important for your accountability, and then also to let you know how far you've come and what to look forward to. So I'm going to end this talk by asking each of you, whether you're watching live on Meet Me, YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok, or whether you're watching the recording, I'm going to ask you to let's do a quick little exercise. Okay. Think of 5 things that you really have to do right now. Okay. Clean the house, lose weight, become successful, um, have a social life, self care, right? I'm just guessing at things, right? Let's say those are the 5 things. Now list them in terms of importance. Gosh, I got to write that down because I don't even know. I'm trying to use it as an excuse, not as an excuse, as a as an example for you guys, but I don't even remember what I just said. So I'm going to do it this way. So what did we say? We said self-care, my spiritual path. Let's do that. My self-care, which is like, a spa day or whatever. My spiritual path, my relationships. I want to invest more time in my relationships. Uh, I want to make more money, so money, finances. What else? Education. I want to learn new things, right? Yeah, all of the above. Education. Grow myself through education. Um, so cooking, right? I want to cook my own meals, right? Instead of like eating out all the time. So let's say I'm just using this as an excuse, but not as an example. Why do I keep saying excuse? Now you guys write your 5 things that you really want to do, right? Now list them in terms of importance. What do you really need to do right now? So I'm just pretending this is me, right? Uh, I'm going to say spiritual is number one because when I have a good, strong spiritual base, then everything else tends to flow. And then I'm going to say my self care is number two because I haven't been getting enough sleep or I've been eating out junk food all the time. I have not, right? But I'm just gonna be like, doing this for the exercise. So self care is going to be my second most important thing. And then my third most important thing is the relationships in my life. Maybe I've been working so hard, working, working, working. I've neglected my children or my partner or my friends. So number three is going to be my relationships, right? And then four is I want to make more money, finances. That's important to me. That's going to be number four. And then finally, education is five. I want to learn things to grow my craft or whatever. There, we've now identified 5 things that I have to work on. And now we've identified that the spiritual is the first thing that I got to work on. So what you can do is you can start to go through everything that I just said here in today's talk and create your goals with a long-term goal in mind. So let's say the goal is spirituality. I want to invest in my spiritual path. Okay, my long-term goal, let's say, is to become a healer, right? Okay. Long-term goal is to become a healer. So then my short-term goals would be to take classes, right? Uh, do my own spiritual practice, read spiritual books, right? Um, and live a spiritually based lifestyle. So I would write those down. And then I would break those down into smaller goals and smaller goals until finally I have like a daily to do list, a weekly to do list, and then a monthly to do list. Right. And that's how you kind of plot it out. But basically, what I want to say is it sounds like a lot of work, but I want to say this: you have to put in some work to get things done. If you don't put in the work, then things just won't get done. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't get the things done, then that's when the depression, the anxiety, the worry, the fear sets in. And now, next thing you know, you're just sitting there and life is passing you by and you don't know why. You don't know, why am I still here? Why am I still stuck? You know, I always do New Year's goals or resolutions, and people always make fun of me. They're like, "Oh, Uma, haha, you're so old school and people don't do that anymore, whatever." But guess what? Uma progresses every single year. Because I'll tell you what, if I write down 33 goals in January, by December, I may not get 33 goals done. But even if I got 20 goals done, you know what I'm saying? That's amazing. Because that tells me that there's 20 different things I accomplished this year that moved me from where I was to where I am now. And that is growth. And growth is needed. Okay. So as I end this talk, it's not enough for you to know your purpose. you have to have a plan to go with that purpose. And like I said, I just outlined several things for you guys to do to kickstart and start your journey towards realizing and actualizing your purpose. For those of you that came in late, if you want to watch this whole broadcast, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Lotus and the Light. This will be under the Metaphysical Talks playlist. It's my Tuesday talks. And I think I might actually, you know what? Give me like an hour. I will create a separate Tuesday Talks playlist just so that when you guys go on my YouTube channel, you'll be able to find all the Tuesday Talks in one area. Right now, I've just been putting them in with Metaphysical Talks. I think I'm just going to change the name to Tuesday Talks on there, so that way you guys can find it easier. But that's it. That's my conversation for today. Does anybody have any questions about what I talked about? Any comments? Or do you have a topic that you would like me to talk about next week that I can start to work on and prepare? Because it does take me like a good week to kind of get all the information together and get it into like a nice, concise form so I can bring it here and present it to you guys, So I will take some time for those of you that are watching live to ask you any questions right now. And if nobody has any questions, then I'll go ahead and end this broadcast. And like I said, give me an hour and I will create Tuesday Talks. And then that way you guys can find the recording of this under there. All right. I'm going to sign off now. TikTok, I'll be on a little bit later. Meet me, I'll be on a little bit later. And YouTube, I will be back tomorrow for Wellness Wednesday. We are talking about access bars tomorrow. I am an access bars practitioner and a teacher, and I'm going to talk about this wonderful modality about how you can get a hold of your negative thoughts, change them, how you can get a hold of your limiting beliefs, change them so that you can expand your world. Not only do I recommend people take an access bars session, I recommend you learn it too, because you can actually learn it. It's a 1-day class. You become certified as a practitioner after the 1-day class. And it's a great modality to learn because it helps you, not only helps you help clients with their stuff, but it also helps you to get a hold of your own negative thoughts, beliefs, limiting patterns, and whatnot to get you back on track. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. I will see y'all a little bit later. Bye, guys.